Have you ever wondered why some people seem to thrive financially while others can't seem to break free from financial stress? In this video, I'll be going through the 9 money habits that were keeping us poor and ultimately led to us not being able to live our dream, which was to travel and explore the world. Habits you might be doing that are holding you back. If you're new here, I'm Nick, and on this channel we share travel and business tips to teach others how to build their own remote business so they can travel around the world. If that's something that excites you, then consider joining our community and hitting that subscribe button. Goal setting. In 1953, Harvard asked the MBA graduates about their goals. Only 3% had written goals, 13% had goals but hadn't written them down, and 84% had no goals at all. 10 years later, the 13% with unwritten goals were earning twice as much as those with no goals, while the 3% with written goals were earning 10 times more than the other 97% combined. This study highlights the importance of setting goals not just financially, but for any area of your life that you're looking to improve. Setting goals has allowed us to understand what are priorities for us and what are actually distractions. For example, let's say we earn $100,000 this year, and out of that our goal is to save $50,000 to take a $10,000 vacation, and the rest of it goes to our living costs, so $40,000 goes to living costs. That means that anything outside of that are actually distractions from what we actually wanted to achieve or what we've set out to achieve. So if we want to buy a new car or we want to renovate the house, those are distractions. It doesn't mean you can't buy the car or renovate the house. It just means that right now, for this financial year, that is not the priority. This is what makes the quote by Oprah Winfrey so powerful, where she says, "You can have everything you want, just not all at once." And the reason why this holds true is because if you think about your financial resources like a river, if you scatter the river in all different directions without a clear plan, this river becomes shallow and weak. But if you focus your energy and resources on a few specific goals, that river will gain momentum and strength, which will ultimately push you towards your financial goals. To help you get started, after this video, get a pen and paper and just write down one financial goal that you would like to achieve by the end of this year. Budgeting. Most people think budgeting is about restricting your spending. We felt exactly the same way when we were first introduced to this concept, but after applying this concept over a couple of years, we come to realize that budgeting isn't about restricting your spending, it's actually about understanding where your money goes. And through that, you're able to make more intentional decisions that can align closer towards your financial goals. For us, creating a budget was a total game changer, and the reason why is because we were spending money on things that we didn't even know we were spending money on. And that led to us saving about $424 per month, which may not sound like a lot, but if you compound this $424 over 12 months, that equates to around $5,000 per year that we were just wasting money on that we could have used for a vacation or we could have used to invest the money. How much do you think it's costing you every month or every 10 years or every 40 years by not knowing where your money is actually going? Comment down below if you've tried budgeting before and let me know what your experience was. Was it something similar to us where we found a chunk of money that we were wasting money on that now we could save, invest, or we can use for a vacation? If you're new to this concept and you're not sure where to get started, I'd highly recommend just downloading a free budgeting app that you can find either on the App Store or the Play Store, or you can download our free budget tracking spreadsheet that I'll link down below. Percentage thinking. This idea came from an interview where Mark Cuban was explaining how so many people spend so much time and so much effort trying to find that perfect investment, when something as simple as buying a whole bunch of toothpaste on sale could give you a better return on that money compared to putting that in the stock market, because that money is an immediate savings and it's tax-free. From that day onwards, I started comparing things based off percentages rather than off the actual dollar amount. Here's a practical example. Imagine you're buying a bottle of water. One bottle is $1 and the other is $1.2. If you're comparing the price based on the actual dollar amount, you may not really care about a 20-cent difference. But if you're comparing these two bottles based off percentages, you'd realize that there's a huge difference because that's a 20% difference between the first bottle and the second bottle. Since the average market return is only 10% per annum, just by picking the bottle that's $1 over the bottle that's $1.2, you actually beat the market by 10%. This concept becomes extremely powerful when you start realizing the compound effect of all these little expenses that add up over the years. For illustration purposes, let's say your current expenses are around $20,000 per year. By applying the percentage thinking, let's say over a year, you're able to find deals that are able to decrease your expenditure by 10%. This means each year your return on investment on the $20,000 is an immediate $2,000 that's tax-free. And over 10 years, that's $20,000. Now let me make this clear, you're not sacrificing anything by decreasing your expenditure by $2,000. You're buying exactly the same things that you normally buy. The only difference is you're just being more conscious about finding the better deals. Emergency fund. Life is so unpredictable these days that without an emergency fund, you might find yourself in a situation where if you have an unexpected expense that comes your way or you lose your job, that it will derail you completely from your financial goals. I don't know about you, but situations like a sudden car breakdown or an unforeseen vet bill seems to always happen when you least expect it. So how much of an emergency fund should you have set aside? Most recommend 3 to 6 months. For Tams, she needed a couple of years, so that's what we did a few years ago. So I'd highly recommend that you set aside as much as you need for you to feel secure or for you to sleep well at night. But the minimum I would recommend is at least 6 months. The biggest benefit that I've found with this emergency fund is that it allows us to negotiate from a position of strength. It gives us the confidence to charge higher rates or to walk away from deals that don't align from our values. When we contrast this to when we had no emergency fund, we were forced to take on jobs that we didn't want to take on just because we needed the income. So I'd highly recommend that you start saving for this fund as soon as possible because it'll reward you in more ways than you can actually imagine. Credit card. Credit cards reminds me of the saying,
remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
They're powerful tools if used correctly and a wealth killer if used incorrectly. In my opinion, the correct way to use a credit card is to only put purchases on that card that you know that you can pay for at the end of the month. And the incorrect way is quite the opposite. The average interest rate for a credit card is 21%, which is mind-blowing because if you think about it, if you had $10,000 invested in the money market at 10% return on investment, and you had another $10,000 of credit card debt at 21%, your total portfolio is actually decreasing by 11% every single year just by having that credit card debt. And this is what I mean by a credit card, if used incorrectly, it's almost like taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. And that's the reason why we created this rule for ourselves, which is if we don't have the money in the bank right now to pay for this purchase, then we can't afford it. And we sure as hell can't afford to put it on the credit card. Friends. Have you ever heard of the saying that you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with? If you take the 5 friends that you spend the most time with and you've averaged their monthly expenditure, you'll probably find that the average of their expenses is very close to what you spend on a monthly basis. Research from the National Bureau of Economic Research highlights how peer influence affects financial decisions. The financial habits of your social circle play a crucial role in shaping your spending patterns and overall financial well-being. For instance, if your close friend prioritizes investments and making good financial decisions, you'll find that you'll probably adopt similar habits. Or if your close friends are the ones that spend on luxury items, expensive dining, or impulse purchases, you'll find that you'll probably mirror that behavior. You might not spend as much as your friend, but you'll find that you'll start spending more than you actually intended to. So I'd highly recommend to choose your friend circle wisely if you're looking to improve your financial well-being. Fixed costs. One of our main priorities in our life is to maximize freedom. So with every situation, we approach it through a lens of whether this will enhance or diminish our freedom. And fixed costs are definitely freedom takers. Fixed costs are regular, unavoidable expenses like subscriptions, gym memberships, car repayments, mortgage repayments, insurance, health insurance premiums. These are expenses that you have to pay every single month regardless of your situation. So what do I mean by them being freedom takers? Imagine if your income is around $10,000 per month and your fixed costs are around $8,000 per month. This means that 80% of your income has already been committed to these recurring expenses before you even start the month. Essentially, for most of the month, you're working just to pay off your car, your house, and other fixed expenses. When we minimize our fixed costs, it freed up a lot of our income that allowed us the financial flexibility to be able to make choices that align with more of our financial goals. Lifestyle inflation. As you earn more money, it's common for you to start spending more money. This is a phenomenon known as lifestyle inflation. This habit can sabotage your financial goals and make it more difficult for you to build wealth. Now, does this mean that you shouldn't treat yourself for working so hard to increase your business revenue? Not at all. However, it is crucial for you to increase your lifestyle in accordance with your financial goals. And this is what I mean. One of our financial goals or budget is to live off around 5 to 9% of our monthly income and invest the rest. So if our cash flow increases by $1,000 this month, that means that allows us to increase our lifestyle by around $50 to $90 for that month. This allows us to enjoy the rewards of our hard work while staying on track to hit our financial goals. focusing only on investing. There's nothing wrong with investing. For us, we try our best to maximize this as much as possible. The problem becomes when you rely solely on investing in order to grow your wealth. It's like a sports team that focuses only on the defense and not on the offense. To become a championship team or financially successful, you need to focus on both. Points 1 to 8 helped us build a foundation for a strong defense, and getting aggressive on point number 9 helped us build a strong attack. Now, what do I mean by attack? Attack simply means finding ways to increase your income, be it increasing your skill set so that you can charge more for your service, or finding another side hustle that you can work on that could help you increase your income. Because if you think about it, if you relied solely on investing, and let's say you invested $1,000 at a 10% return on investment, at the end of the year, you'd have $1,100. Whereas if you invested in developing a skill set that could earn you maybe an extra $40 per week, that means at the end of the year, that $1,000 would have grown to about $2,080. That's a 108% return on investment compared to 10%. And that's if you only manage to increase your income by $40 per week. This is why I highly recommend that after implementing points 1 to 8, your defense, start compounding your skills so that you can compound your wealth faster. If you aren't sure what skills to learn for you to earn more money, then I highly recommend checking out this video where I go through the 4 easy side hustles that can help you earn an extra $1,000 per week. So those are the 9 money habits that were keeping us poor. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.